Close to 1,000 people dead in Egypt this week, 4,000 injured. The US and Europe are considering cutting aid. Saudi Arabia is going the other way, stepping in with a $12 billion package from other Gulf states as well. The author of For the Battle of the Soul of Islam, Zuhdi Jasser, is with us now. Dr. Jasser, welcome back. Always good to see you.
Thank you, Stuart. It's always great to be with you.
Here's my interpretation of what's going on. The military is winning. The Brotherhood is losing. And America's interest, in my opinion, is that the military should win and really beat the Muslim Brotherhood. What do you say?
I agree with you currently with that narrative. That's exactly what's playing out. But remember, what America is we're the adults of democracy in the world. And Revolution 1.0 for Egypt was about marginalizing Mubarak, the National Democratic Party, and the autocratic history of 60-plus years of military rule. And certainly what 1 year of the Brotherhood rule did that 60 years of military rule couldn't do was bring the people united against the Muslim Brotherhood. And now the Brotherhood's trying to tear apart Egypt and destroy churches and bring a sectarian violence and devolve them into civil war. So right now the lesser of the two evils is to take the side of the military, to keep the support, stability of Egypt and maintain the peace, especially with Israel. But we have to have a vision of where we want Egypt to go towards real democracy. We can't completely side with the military. Unfortunately, Stuart, the narrative the White House has given the world is that we were silent against the Brotherhood and now we're being critical of the military. So unfortunately it makes it seem like America is pro-Brotherhood, but when in fact we want to navigate them towards a transition of civilian-controlled military, transition towards real democracy rather than more autocratic rule that just breeds more of these radical groups like the Brotherhood.
But you know, Doctor, nowhere, to my knowledge, in the North African, Middle Eastern, Muslim world, nowhere is there anything that you and I would consider close to a democracy.
Well, there really isn't, but they haven't had the environment in which they could have these debates. I mean, look, 1 year of the Brotherhood running...
I'm going to hold you on for just a second. I do apologize for interrupting. But a lot of people are saying that Islam is incompatible with what you and I think of as a democracy.
Well, there's no doubt this is the elephant in the room for Muslims around the world. And we came to America, many of us, because this is where we could reform the ideas to bring them in compatibility with, to separate mosque and state. And we have to go through this enlightenment process that the West went through. And it'll certainly be messy. But Islam is a young religion. It's 1,400 plus years. It's going through this process of modernization. It won't happen overnight. And we need to challenge it, just as you asked, Stuart, if we continue to push the issues. But the White House won't take a side within the House of Islam. And it's only going to move towards modernity and towards liberty if we push those buttons and begin to challenge it. If we don't challenge it, you'll continue to see this same battle between two fascisms of secular national fascism versus the theocrats of the Brotherhood, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the same old thugs that have destroyed the entire Middle East.
One last one, and I want to return to my first question. You believe that the military is winning, that this military government is beating the Muslim Brotherhood. Now, we're a financial program, and we look at this from financial terms, and we see the price of oil falling. And I have to conclude that it's falling because this government, the military government, will keep the Suez Canal open without threat. And that's why the price of oil is coming down. You agree?
Yeah, in the short term, certainly we're seeing some stabilization, and that stabilization will be necessary to actually move towards a greater attempt or chance at democracy. But, you know, our aid is small compared to what the Saudis and the Kuwaitis are dumping into Egypt now of over $12 billion compared to our $1 billion. And we need to start looking, once they have that economic stability, they can start to shore up some institutions of democracy. But I don't think the future of Egypt, the 10 million that were in the street just a month ago, Stuart, don't want to see military-run dictatorships. And that's going to have to change for the long-term economic stability of the region and for the stability of Israel. Remember, this military is the same military that radicalized the Egyptian population for the last many decades. Yes, they had a peace with Israel, and yes, we've continued to give them money, but there has to be a strategy to modernizing the ideological battle in the region.
Dr. Jasser, always a pleasure to have you on the program. Thanks for joining us again.
Thank you.
So,
thanks, Stuart.